Welcome to Buns and Banter, a podcast by work besties for work besties. Hey, I'm Lauren.
And I'm Aly.
We're both morning show hosts for iHeartMedia.
And we're live in 3.
We're both millennials.
And we're both trying to figure out how to build the lives we dream about.
Dating.
Marriage.
Career.
Career and being a mom.
How to get through a week without crying.
Welcome to Buns and Banter.
We're glad you're here.
Okay. First of all.
Wow. How many blondes does it take to put the water jug on the water cooler? It's my favorite job, though, of my... I mean, we don't really have responsibilities and duties here.
Yeah.
But it's my favorite thing to do here, is put the water on the thing.
Really? I didn't know you did that.
At least on our floor, not on this floor.
You missed. We are like, I'm kind of hard breathing because we've got those, I don't know who, Gordon Water. Shout out to Gordon Water.
Shout out to Gordon Water.
Who I'm sure is not
keeping us hydrated.
Not aware that the thingy is kind of broken. So we just pulled the giant drum of water onto it to realize that the spigots weren't working. So all of a sudden the thing just started spewing out water. And we don't like to leave a mess because we're kind. So here we are.
Dirty sink water.
Because that was a hard piece of water to get. Yeah, it's pretty not great.
Which they have told us repeatedly not to drink because they don't know what these pipes are made of. And this is an extremely old building. So we're taking our life in our hands today.
Goal weight. Fingers crossed. We get some kind of tapeworm.
I've never met someone who wants to get cholera as much as you.
It's not cholera now. I'm nervous about the TB. It's making its way into Michigan. And I just know my medical anomaly self. I had whooping cough in November, if y'all missed it. I am an absolute Laura Ingalls Wilder in present day.
Would you like to know a fun fact about TB? Tuberculosis, I assume we're talking about, right?
Please give me the fun fact.
So do you know why Adirondack chairs are called Adirondack chairs?
No.
Because they would take TB patients to the Adirondack Mountains when they were sick, and that they would sit them on those chairs outside in the fresh air to recuperate and heal. So Adirondack chairs. I know there's a few pieces of info in there I'm missing.
That's all I needed.
High level, that's the things you learn on Buns and Banter.
Oh, shoot. If that's going to give me a trip to the mountains where I just have to sit on my ass and breathe. Come on into my lungs.
I don't want the TB, but I'll take the time away.
Oh my God. I just feel very out of sorts today. First, we had the water situation. Now we're talking TB, which I just feel like my lungs love inviting a good illness. And I have to tell you real quick, because I feel like this is a PSA, if you have bougie appliances. So I have a washer, and this is so new to me because I've never had nice new things like that. Mm-hmm. So we have a new washer and dryer. Maybe yours does this. If you fill it with a really big load, right? I'm trying to get all my clothes done. That's right. Take the innuendo as you will. So I've got a big load in there.
Uh-huh.
And apparently...
As one does.
I do not separate colors. I do not do anything adult like that. I'm a glorified child throwing clothes in there. So I was so responsible. I'm like, I'm going to do this tonight. That way I have everything ready for work tomorrow and I can put things in the dryer and have warm pants for work, which is my favorite.
Ooh, yeah.
Sometime overnight, the AI washer decided it was off balance. So it shuts the cycle down. And then it's like, hey, and leaves you. So this morning I went to get nice warm pants or put them in the dryer. And it was like, oh, hello. Could you just open the lid and redistribute the clothes and the washing cycle will continue.
We put a man on the moon, and our washing machines
on the moon
can't figure out how to recalibrate and reorganize these clothes.
And I'm going on vacation, so I wanted everything clean. So it was everything I own. So today I am wearing leggings from college. I found a Treetops shirt that says keep calm and head up north. And I put on a scarf. I think this belonged to an old roommate of mine to try and pull the look together.
You look amazing.
So I'm just feeling very off. If you're watching YouTube right now, I promise that I probably would wear something like this, but this is really low key for me. This was AI's fault. That's what I'm blaming it on.
You look cute today.
I feel these, I don't know where I got these, but they go all the way up to my boobs.
That's my favorite kind.
Oh,
that's my favorite kind.
That high?
Yeah.
Oh God, I feel like I should have an Afghan across my lap and be sitting on the Davenport because I'm 105 years old. They're like old man pants. I'm having a time today. I'm excited we were able to pod because otherwise, Life is just going nowhere.
But you're headed for some vacay, some warmer temperatures.
Yes.
So you know what? You don't even have to worry about leggings or long sleeves or vests or scarves where you're going.
That's true.
Good for you.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely planned. But I'm excited what we're going to do today because this was all your idea and I think it was a really good one.
Well, you know what tipped me over the edge? Because I've been following the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni lawsuit that pertains to the movie It Ends With Us, which is based off a book written by Colleen Hoover. And we talked about the book, and you have the book, but you didn't read it.
I did read.
You did read
I've read the book, yeah.
Okay. Okay, we can get into that in a little bit. But, I mean, this is just like so fascinating to me because it has been such a shit show from the very beginning.
So, and the beginning it feels to me like months and months and months and months ago. And I guess when you talk the press tour, but the legal side of this is only like a few weeks old, really. It's like mid-December.
And this is going to drag on for years because one of the things that they're really worried about is that this is going to a jury trial. I'll give you a background of the lawsuit here or the several lawsuits here in just a second. But one of the things that I saw today was that they're worried about all of the coverage tainting the jury pool. And I was like, I can't believe that they're going to have a jury trial for this.
It's wild. And I've never heard a half gag order, which was so they were in front of a district judge in Manhattan yesterday. And at the same time, and I feel like we hear this every time there's a new piece of news, both sides considered it a victory.
Weird.
And I agree with you. I don't know how you could possibly sit people that have never heard about this unless you're talking all boomers.
Yeah. My oldest sister texted me last week and she said, okay, I have seen enough of this Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively shit now. I need someone to sort through it all and explain it to me like I'm 5. And I was like, okay, well, it's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah.
It's day by day updates. So if you're not familiar, here's the background. Justin Baldoni directed and co-starred with Blake Lively. This is from Forbes, so I feel like that's pretty credible.
That's a credible source.
I tried to look for something that wasn't like The Globe or The Post or
Too
like
fab.
Us Weekly or something. But Justin Baldoni directed and co-starred with Blake Lively, It Ends With Us, the movie adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling book, which was released last August. Now, disclaimer, I have not seen the movie. I don't plan to see the movie.
Same.
I have not read the book. I don't plan to read the book. I've read the book. Rumors of a rift developing between Lively and Baldoni during post-production began to emerge around the movie's release, so in August. And they were further fueled during the film's press tour when Blake Lively appeared to avoid mention of him in interviews, which was like kind of glaring. Speculation emerged that there were disputes over creative control, and sources told TMZ Baldoni had fat-shamed her by inquiring about her weight, telling an on-set trainer he wanted to avoid injury while lifting her up in the movie. Baldoni and Lively were never photographed together when they were promoting the movie. Rumors of the feud grew, and Baldoni hired Melissa Nathan, a crisis PR manager who represented Johnny Depp.
Oh, that's right.
In his defamation case against ex-wife Amber Heard. According to texts published by the New York Times, Nathan suggested plans including, quote, full social takedowns by creating threads of theories and planting pieces in the media of how horrible Blake is to work with. That was like the beginning of this, and I feel like that's when everybody kind of started rallying around Blake, being like, this guy is a menace. While Lively said the alleged smear campaign had caused severe emotional distress for her and her family. She's married to Ryan Reynolds, in case you didn't know. I think they have 4 kids, 3 or 4, prompting her to back out of hosting the SNL season 50 premiere.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, it's like some things fall through the cracks because there's just so much of it.
Yeah. So I've got like the timeline here. I'm going to run you through it. This starts this is up until now, February 3rd. So this starts months and months and months ago.
It's wild. And I remember the first time doing this in my Celeb Scoop on my shows was really the New York Times article, because we'd heard rumors, but then you had the New York Times article and you were like, oh, wow, just like you said, people start rallying all of this. Baldoni immediately comes out and he's like, this is not what it seems. Then you start to have co-stars from other projects they've worked on that get involved, other Gossip Girl alums that didn't have great things to say.
And see, that is the social media effect, right? Like
Yes.
now celebrities are taking a more humanized approach to social media where they're just like us and they talk about stuff that we talk about on social media. So you had all of these celebrities kind of coming to her defense and like rallying around her. But then also you had the ones that were like, I don't know, I haven't had the best experience with her in the past.
Oh my gosh. That fuels it. And then you've got the Times article. And then what the next big thing is that then she files her lawsuit. That was $250 million.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm curious. I did not look this up, but I would like to know how much the movie made because
Oh, that's a good point.
I heard, again, I have not seen the movie, but I have not heard glowing reviews on the quality of the film.
And this is really, you're doing a lovely job because there was, Blake did this press tour all wrong. She was like promoting her wardrobe and her hair care products and things like that. There were so many other like tangents off of this stuff.
Yes.
Where every day it was something.
Like around the time of the It Ends With Us premiere, Blake Lively was the subject of intense criticism online targeting how she promoted the film. And we all saw the press tour, right?
Yeah, we did.
The press tour was a disaster.
Ooh.
You could tell that every time she did press about this movie, she was agitated, she was irritated, she was taking it out on the people that were interviewing her. Like it just, there was something going on and you could definitely tell, but we didn't know if it was pertaining to the movie, pertaining to her personal life, or possibly something else. The opportune release of her hair care line and other behaviors were like a huge talking point of the things that she was promoting in this film that just seemed like a movie about domestic violence.
Yeah.
I don't know that this is necessarily your jumping off point for launching your hair care brand.
And not having seen the movie, but having read the book, the entire thing is domestic violence. It's not, building up to one big moment where she has, clarification about what's going on and she has this epiphany. The entire thing is about this really serious subject matter.
And in one promotional video, she encourages the audience to, quote, grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see the movie, which was pretty instantly criticized because of, first of all, her tone. People were pissed that she was like trying to sort of pass this off as some like feel good girls night out chick flick. Like, no. And then people also claim she was attempting to promote the movie as a lighthearted love story, cheapening the serious take on domestic abuse.
I was told when I posted that I was reading that book last year, I had multiple women DM me and go, it's really great, but here's your trigger warning. Like that's how intense the book is.
Yeah. And then Baldoni took a completely different approach to promoting the movie. He was very serious, like from the beginning. He was very quiet. He was very demure when he was doing press and on carpets, which they never did together. They never did anything together. And Baldoni was praised for how he handled the promotion of the movie. Lively was also criticized for seeming to promote her newly launched hair care line, Blake Brown, off the back of the film. It was later revealed that the two were never supposed to launch at the same time. So what happened there?
Oh, that's interesting.
Production delays caused by the Hollywood strikes in 2023 also pushed the premiere of the movie, and it coincided with the predetermined launch date of the brand. So it just seems like they weren't supposed to launch at the same time, but then the Hollywood strikes, so then they had to launch at the same time. Push the launch back. You know what I mean? Lively was also criticized for her reaction to an interviewer in a resurfaced 2016 clip. This is the one that I've seen the most online, where this is the how's your bump, right? That's that one where the interviewer, Blake is pregnant at the time, and the interviewer asks her, hey, thank you so much for being here. Love to see you. How are you and your little bump? And Blake was like, how are you and your little bump?
And then refused to look at her and address her again for the rest of the interview. It was, I think, I can't remember who the other woman was. It's not Piper Perabo, somebody different. Actually did like the entire thing, and Blake just continued to look very irritated. But again, then you'll go into the comments and people are like, this is taken out of context, this has been edited together, blah blah blah. By the way, the movie grossed over 350 million.
Is that good these days, or
I don't know, but
not so much?
250 from Blake, and then Justin now countersuing for 400 million. This does not seem like a success.
Okay, so because this movie launched in August, I'm just gonna fast forward to December, because that's when all of this really started ramping up. So December 20th, Blake Lively filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department claiming Baldoni invaded her privacy by entering her makeup trailer uninvited while she was undressed, pressuring her to lose weight after giving birth, and a coordinated PR campaign with a crisis firm designed to destroy her reputation. That was December 20th. The very next day, December 21st, Baldoni was dropped by his talent agency. 3 days later, December 24th, Vital Voices, a nonprofit that focuses on empowering women, rescinded an award it was originally going to give to Justin Baldoni, who has made a career expressing his support of women's stories and co-hosted a podcast about masculinity called Man Enough, which his co-host pulled out of the same day.
Yep.
Also, December 24th, Baldoni was sued by his ex-publicist, Stephanie Jones, over an alleged conspiracy to discredit her and steal her clients.
And that stems, I believe, from the New York Times article.
Yes. December 31st, New Year's Eve, Blake Lively formally files a lawsuit in New York federal court against Baldoni, his publicist, Wayfarer Studios, and other defendants for retaliating against her for reporting sexual harassment and workplace safety concerns. Also on December 31st.
There's just so much.
So, like, there are multiple things happening every day, and
every day.
I don't know a lot about how that world works, Hollywood in itself, but the legal aspect of things, this stuff is not just reactionary, right? Like, you can't just like, okay, someone filed a lawsuit against me, so I'm going to file a lawsuit back and get that in on the same day. Like, this stuff takes a little bit of pre-planning.
Right.
So, same day, December 31st, New Year's Eve. Who knew this was going on? I was like,
oh, I did.
Dead on my couch while this was happening.
Like I did.
Baldoni files a $250 million libel lawsuit against the New York Times for reporting on Lively's allegations, accusing the outlet of having cowered to the wants and whims of two powerful, quote, untouchable Hollywood elites, referring to Blake Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds.
And then part of that lawsuit was him going and saying, you took text messages, you edited where they were hitting, what they were about, how they were given. You didn't publish all of the text messages. So a lot of meaning and context was lost.
Right. That was one of the interesting things about this, was that it was the back and forth and that game of like chicken with the text messages. Like, she had him in her suit and he was like, no, release all of them.
Exactly.
And she was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, release all of them.
He's been very, I feel, front and center. Like, I do have the receipts and I am ready to show all of them.
So 3 days later, January 3rd, Friedman tells Today he plans to file a lawsuit against Blake Lively after she was subjected to sexually inappropriate behavior by Baldoni on the set of their 2024 film, but wouldn't say exactly what the countersuit would allege, though denied Lively's claims that Baldoni and his team launched a smear campaign against the actress.
So Friedman is Baldoni's main lawyer.
Got it.
Yep.
January 7th, Friedman appeared on Megyn Kelly's YouTube show to discuss Baldoni's plans to sue Lively into oblivion. Did he really use those words?
I think so.
Wow. And pushed back on several of the actress's allegations, accusing Lively of not reading the source material for the film, refuting claims that she was sexually harassed, and accusing her of orchestrating her own smear campaign against Baldoni. The interview also included newly released sound from a voice note from Baldoni explaining that he was, quote, sent to the basement of the film's premiere because Lively didn't want to be anywhere near her or the rest of the cast. Didn't want him near her or the rest of the cast.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard the voice note?
Mm-mm.
It's It's wild. He says, I believe he's down there with friends, with family.
I've seen the
for like an
pictures.
hour and a half.
Yeah.
And just sat down there, according to him.
So up until now, this is very much, and I guess it still is, it's very much like a he said, she said. But I felt like the pendulum was very much swinging in her favor. And this was going to be another one of those instances where he's not going to get away with this. Like it ends, no pun intended, but it ends here.
Yeah.
Like this is done.
Yeah.
But then on January 8th, so literally a day later, in an interview with Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, TMZ founder Harvey Levin said about the co-stars competing accusations about online campaigns to damage one another's reputation. Both sides tried to skew this story. We've been on the recipient end of that. It has happened on both sides in the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni war. Both sides.
My God, when you have TMZ acting as the
Mediator?
Oh, God.
Baldoni's lawyer responded by saying, "That's good to know." In recent days, the lawyer for Baldoni has denied Blake Lively's allegations that she faced a smear campaign by his PR team, claiming that her team was instead working to smear him. January 10th. Paul Feig?
I think it's Feig, actually.
Feig.
I think.
Paul Feig, who directed Lively's upcoming film, A Simple Favor 2. Oh, they're making another one of that? With Anna Kendrick, right? Mm-hmm. Huh. They didn't really leave that open for a second one, I didn't think. Anyways. Sorry. He responded to viral rumors about the film that it had been shelved indefinitely, partly due to the legal battle, calling it total BS and confirming the film is finished and it is coming out soon. I wonder how that shakes out. Because that was January 10th and it's February now.
I've not heard anything either about it.
Also January 10th, Deadline reports Baldoni's former publicist, Stephanie Jones, who had sued the actor and a handful of others for defamation and breach of contract in December, had issued subpoenas to WhatsApp, Signal, and website hosts Hostinger and Namecheap, digital publishing platform AnyFlip, and chatbot company Gab AI in attempts to discover who may have been behind posts and websites aimed at harming Lively and Baldoni's reputations.
Just can't trust anything online.
Weird. January 16th, Baldoni files a federal lawsuit in New York against Lively, her husband, Ryan Reynolds, her publicist, Leslie Sloan, and the firm Vision PR, alleging his co-star tormented him, his family, his partners, falsely accusing him of sexual harassment and using him as a scapegoat to dodge the negative press surrounding. He also pushed back on claims he sexually harassed her, instead claiming she calculatingly devised fake stories to destroy his reputation and livelihood, seized control of the film he was directing, and set out to damage his career and Wayfarer Studios, quote, if they did not bend to her incessant demands. Whoa.
You're still going, yeah?
Still going.
I know.
Still going.
I haven't said a lot because there's still so much more to cover, I guess.
January 21st, Baldoni's legal team countered Lively's claims that he acted inappropriately while filming a slow dance scene for the film by releasing a 10-minute video from the set that includes 3 takes of the same scene, which Baldoni's team says is the entirety of the footage shot for that scene, during which Lively alleged in a lawsuit that Baldoni leaned forward and slowly dragged his lips from her ear and down her neck as he said, "It smells so good." The footage shows a similar interaction where Baldoni is seen nuzzling her neck, and she says, "I'm probably getting spray tan on you," to which he responds, "It smells good." Lively's team says the footage fully corroborates her account, and any woman who has been inappropriately touched in the workplace will recognize Miss Lively's discomfort. I haven't seen that video. Baldoni's lawyer said the footage proves both actors clearly behaved well within the scope of the scene with mutual respect and professionalism.
Because then later on, you'll fast forward and find his other allegation about the intimacy coordinator and the meeting she skipped out on.
January 27th, Daily Mail publishes a nearly 7-minute voice note. It says Baldoni sent to Lively at 2 a.m. during the filming of the movie, in which he allegedly apologizes for not being open enough to script changes that she made, admitting he is a very flawed man, and makes a reference to her breastfeeding her then newborn child. It's kind of weird.
Because I think I listened to almost the entire 7 minutes of it. And I believe what he was discussing is her talking about coming into her dressing room and when she was unclothed and things like that. And he is alleging that she invited him in, that he had told her exactly what he wanted to talk about. And then suddenly that changed for her and put him in this negative light when he was doing everything in his power to make sure that he wasn't making her uncomfortable and was talking about things that needed to happen with the movie as quickly as possible.
Okay. Another update on January 27th. Like, multiple things every day.
Honey, every single day I was doing this on my shows. It was so absurd.
Lyman told Lively and Baldoni's lawyers to prepare for a March 9th, 2026 trial date and set a pre-trial conference to discuss, among other things, complaints from Lively's teams about the conduct of Baldoni's lawyer. Lively's lawyers have claimed that Friedman, Baldoni's lawyer, is trying to paint potential jurors by creating a website to release communication between the two actors and documents from the set, and accused him of making an endless stream of defamatory and extrajudicial media statements. Please make the website. We would love a place where we can get all of this in one spot.
So he did. He published it over the weekend.
This weekend?
Yes.
This past weekend?
Yeah, I believe it's just called because that was what was a big topic in the court hearing on Monday.
January 29th, Hollywood Reporter cites unnamed sources in reporting that Baldoni has lost 3 jobs and hundreds of millions of dollars since Lively first filed the suit against him in December, and that an in-the-works Pac-Man movie project he was set to direct is now in jeopardy. Mm-hmm. January 30th, lawyers for Lively and Reynolds said in a letter to Lyman that they plan to move to dismiss the lawsuit filed against them at a pretrial conference scheduled for Monday, February 3rd. Yesterday!
Yes.
February 1st. Baldoni's team published a website dedicated to supporting his lawsuit against Lively and Reynolds that links to an amended complaint filed on January 31st. It contains a timeline of the events outlining what he says happened on the set of It Ends With Us, including corresponding text messages, emails, and a statement Baldoni has said he was pressured into releasing by Reynolds and Lively that would have seen him take the blame for, quote, troubled production of the movie. He refused to put out that statement. In addition, he released a text message exchange with Lively that showed she chose not to meet with an on-set intimacy coordinator that he had hired, leaving him to relay uncomfortable information from the meeting on his own.
I'm trying to find the name of the website because it's just so, it's like
February 3rd. This is yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
New York federal judge Louis J. Lyman told lawyers for Lively and Baldoni that he would move up the trial date set for March 2026 if the case continued to be litigated in the press. Lyman ordered both sides to adhere to the New York rules of professional conduct, which stops lawyers from making public comments that have a substantial likelihood of tainting a jury, but stopped short of sanctioning Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, despite claims from Lively's team that he has gotten close to defaming her and has made extrajudicial statements about her and her character.
TheLawsuitinfo.com. He published everything over, and now that judge was threatening to move the trial up. It's like, okay, then you guys won't have the time necessary maybe, and you'll find a jury and we'll figure this out now. It is, and all of that went down in like 6 weeks.
Incredible.
And there's so many other things, like what he was saying. His wife came out in support of him. He had other people that were showing text messages to them about things like when he was trapped down in this basement at the red carpet premiere. Colleen Hoover left Instagram.
Yeah.
Colleen left Instagram because of all the commentary.
Because she couldn't handle it. And at first she had been like really, really supportive of Blake Lively.
Yeah.
And she had come out and said like she was great. She's exactly who we wanted. She was exactly the person you would want to be handling this type of content. And I did think it was a little bit weird that on both sides, they had such a complete and succinct record of everything that had happened and when it had happened. Like, is that just like a normal thing people do on movies now to protect themselves? Which is just like,
Wouldn't you?
I guess I don't work in the business, so I don't know. But I saw online a person speculating that it was Justin Baldoni's wife who had kind of sniffed Blake Lively out right away and said, you need to make sure you document everything on this one.
It's so
Which, of course, we don't know if that's true.
Right.
Right?
Taylor Swift was mentioned in a lawsuit, even though she was not being sued, that there was some conversation, paraphrasing, about Blake using her dragons to take him down.
I don't care how close we are as friends. I got a short list of people I would take a bullet for.
Yeah, right?
But if you were embroiled in a high-profile lawsuit and you were speaking about me as if you were Khaleesi and I was one of your dragons, I might call you and be like, what the
Not the look. Not the look. Even though I did go as Khaleesi for Halloween one year and I did have dragons. I would never. Not in a legal setting.
I bet they weren't Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds.
Have some decor. No, not at all. Not at all. But there's so much there.
And then it came out that Taylor Swift was allegedly, again, this is all speculation because Hollywood.
It's all speculative. And we don't want to get sued.
But was possibly distancing herself from Blake Lively because she felt a little bit used in all of this. And then, we have seen Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds together or separately with Taylor Swift at some NFL games. And then all of a sudden, they weren't there. Are they invited to this football game we got coming up, or won't they be there? That's one of the prop bets I saw.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. And I mean, who even knows what changes when this gets posted? Like, right? Our pod usually hits on a Friday.
Yeah.
We're talking about this, and there could still be so much in a couple days.
So here's the question. You haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen the movie. When there is this much scandal around a movie, does it make you want to go watch it even a little bit?
It makes me want to watch it less.
Right?
It really does. And I think that was an unintentional. When you hear the saying, no, all press is good press.
Yeah.
No such thing as bad press. I very much disagree, because most of the people I know and my friends that were going to see it are like, I don't think you could watch it anymore without feeling so cringy about what is happening behind the scenes, especially given the subject matter. If this is a comedy we're talking about and it's like, oh, the actors are fighting, whatever, funny movie. Not this one. And I have absolutely zero desire. And Netflix keeps trying to serve it to me. You would love this. You would love this. I'm like, I don't think I would. Book was enough for me. This is really unfortunate because I think it could have been a really good movie. It was a good book.
And I haven't seen Blake Lively. I haven't seen paparazzi photos of her. I haven't seen her photographed out and about everywhere. So maybe she's just kind of chilling at home and like taking some time to ride this out. Because I'm sure it's overwhelming and I'm sure it's super stressful. But I did see Ryan Reynolds was out the other day and he was like photographed by a bunch of paparazzi, like signing pictures.
He also went and surprised Hugh Jackman at his... I think he's doing something on Broadway right now. And isn't that awful? Because I looked at the video and I was like, oh, he's trying so hard to be nice. But you also have been in this industry long enough where you know that it's very important to create a public image, especially one that may have been tainted by whatever is happening.
Right.
I don't know. It sounds terrible. And they both have kids too. And you're just like, damn, you're going to Google this sooner rather than later and probably just know everything.
I didn't think about that aspect of it.
I always do with celebrities that have kids. I'm like, oh, okay, good luck. And it's messy.
And it's just like, it's the spectacle of the moment right now.
Do you ever feel bad about that?
Yeah. Like the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard stuff. Like everybody was glued to the TV watching that. And I couldn't watch the trial because I was like, this is like really sensitive information that they are talking about. This stuff happened when you're a celebrity like that. You probably have to have such a tight inner circle. Like there are maybe a handful of people that you can truly be yourself around. And you would hope that your significant other, the person that you love and for all intents and purposes will spend the rest of your life with, would be one of those people where you can let the mask down,
right?
And then all of those things, all of those moments that you think are like private and like they won't tell, we have an understanding, then they're all public and anybody can watch that trial.
Yeah.
That is my, not for me.
Worst nightmare is for you all to realize what I'm actually like. Yes, that is worst case scenario. It was a great rundown, though. Well done.
It was all
I know
Forbes.
you researched that.
It was all
hell out of
Forbes.
it.
I got a shout out to Forbes. There's so much other stuff like surrounding this, and it's like it is so day by day. But it's so confusing, and and that's because there's so much happening every day. There's multiple things happening in the course of 24 hours with this. It's hard to keep up. So I wanted to like sift through it for myself, but also so I could tell my sister what was going on, like she was a 5-year-old.
And once again, just so much money.
And it's so much stuff happening, but also nothing's happening. Right?
Yeah. You should be a reporter on this. This is perfectly said. So much is happening, and yet nothing is happening.
Nothing. I don't think this has moved forward aside from I think one of the biggest developments was the judge setting a trial date, March of 2026.
2026, y'all.
More than a year away. That's too much. That is too much runway for something else to happen. Number one, it's too much time for PR companies to scheme.
Ooh, good word.
Right?
Yeah.
Or spin or do whatever they need to do. It's wild.
Does anybody know that your brain is also melting out of your ears? Thank you so much.
I kind of feel like it. Like I feel like this isn't something that I want to take up any brain space with, and yet
here we are.
But I still don't want to see the movie.
Nope. Sorry, Netflix.